Thank you for joining us. Introducing B.E.A.T, the bail eligibility assessment tool powered by Flutterforce.io. This video seeks to demonstrate just some of what a victim stands to lose by leaving their abuser. We do not go into safety issues like losing their lives. And we will demonstrate how the B.E.A.T app will help solve the problem and empower victims to leave. I think before we move forward, it's important for you to see a visual representation of where my life was before I met my perpetrator and where my life ended up after I left him, which is the entire message behind the movement, #WhyWeStayed. Before I met him, I spent the prior 30 years building lucrative real estate and mortgage brokerage businesses. After the 2009 crash, I rebuilt my businesses and my income finally reached $260,000. With 4 children, because I had custody of my niece at the time, I worked 2 full-time careers to get there. I had lots of friends, clients, referrals, colleagues, which all respected me. My children were happy and felt safe, and my social media following was rapidly growing. After I left him, my social media dwindled down, the slander went viral, my children and I had to move 1,000 miles away to regain sanity and peace. The businesses I spent the last 25 years building struggled dramatically. My income dropped from $21,000 per month to $0. My annual income went from $260,000 to $18,000 in just 6 months. My phone stopped ringing. Now that you have the full picture of where I was before I met my perpetrator and where I ended up, now let's talk about what happened during the 18 months I was with him. He assaulted me 26 times and my oldest daughter twice, while financially, verbally, emotionally, and mentally abusing all of us daily. Now that you have countless instances of verbal abuse, hundreds of times of these name calls in front of my young daughters, my niece, and even in front of my beloved mother. The only time in 2 years my daughter's school bus arrived before I could get home, this man chased her around the house with a stick, threatening to beat her with it. And when he was able to back her into a corner, he towered over my 4 foot 3 inches, 80-pound daughter, screaming at her at the top of his lungs as she cried hysterically. He came home from the bar late one Sunday night, a school night for my girls. And when he awakened me from sleep, he tackled me as I tried to leave the bedroom and put his hands around my throat. During that incident, when I went to my youngest daughter's room to seek safety and to protect her, he beat her bedroom door off the hinges trying to get to us. He once threw my daughter off the bed by violently lifting the mattress she was laying on. She would later testify to this event in court. At the same hearing, his charges were dismissed. What did the justice system teach my 11-year-old daughter that day? Once while I was driving a motor vehicle, he smashed my head into the driver's side window and held it there so I couldn't see the road. One night he spat in my face as I became irritated because he was purposely causing us to be late for my son's graduation ceremony. One night before I left him for good, he threatened to tie my children and I up and put us in the basement of the house that we all lived in and set the house on fire. The night before, he alienated me from my support network, my friends, telling lies and turning people I loved against me. And he began doing so well in advance of my leaving him. In fact, one of my best friends was also my sister-in-law and the aunt of my 2 daughters. She lived less than a mile away. On a night I needed to get my children out of that environment, late on a school night, She wouldn't even offer us a place to stay. Now we can only imagine the lies he must have told her for her to do this. He would maintain power and control over me daily, humiliated me on social media and in front of my friends, especially on special occasions, and even threatened to physically assault my son's father at my son's high school graduation, just to keep me in a state of fear and to redirect my proud heart for my son, as it was obviously offensive to him. Now, there are millions of sources for statistics, but the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence has posted on their website some of the most important stats. But collectively, I'll just summarize. The annual cost of the spiral of silence theory in domestic violence, intimate partner violence, or violence against women, not even including child abuse, is $8.3 billion per year. I put this flowchart together for you so you can see some examples of use cases in the effectiveness of the B.E.A.T app. First, the evidence vault. Journal entries in chronological order by event date, students recording incidences of bullying, teens recording teen dating violence for themselves or their friends. Evidence sharing. This vault will allow HIPAA compliant sharing of files to their cross-system collaboration team, meaning victim advocates, legal teams, medical practitioners, therapists, teachers, even employers and emergency contacts. This collection of evidence will effectuate justice to the point where a traumatized victim will not have to rely on their future memory for testifying for the state. As one example, evidence uploads allows witness statements and other documents to be uploaded, like videos, pictures, audio records, etc. The financial uploads and the records there will allow a before and after snapshot of a person's financial picture before the perpetrator came along and after they left. This allows the judicial system to literally see a bird's eye view of before the damage was done and after. This could be highly useful in divorce cases, but also in criminal cases where restitution can be sought and awarded. The perpetrator assessment is the whole purpose of the app. It is the bail eligibility assessment tool findings where the entire collective data sets for any individual perpetrator will be sought and returned to the inquiring entity, whether it be a law enforcement, a police officer, state's attorney's office, a magistrate, a victim advocate, child protective services, or any other authority in this space, where they can see how the algorithm rated the perpetrator based on a search of the perpetrator's identifying information and how it rated that perpetrator for risk. And that alone allows for justice in this space of victim advocacy, domestic violence, human trafficking, any sort of criminal behavior associated with abuse. I am absolutely certain that you are finding that this app is a game changer for social justice and justice within the space of domestic violence, abuse, bullying, and any other kind of violence you can think of. This app is expensive to build, and I am asking for your help in getting it done. It's already 20 years late to the market. Please invest, donate, or share. I have put together some nice little packages and gifts for your wonderful donations and or investments. Thank you so much.